friend. It's quite early here at St. Mary's Home. I decided to start a recipe early because we may have some clients coming in for an early program and an outside baby and me program, and I like to serve them a little snack. So today I decided to do strawberry turnovers. I've never made this particular recipe, so we're going to discover together what it tastes and looks like. I'm going to be doubling this recipe. Strawberry turnovers, the first part is going to be to make the jam. That's going to be the filler. If you want to skip that part, I imagine you can just take a jam that's already exists, and then we're going to make the turnover. To make the turnover, we're going to use puff pastry. So they come in the frozen section of the store. They come in 2 sheets per box, and so a double recipe is 2 sheets. I already prepared my cookie sheet with a parchment paper, and let's start with the jam. To make jam, I want to put in a medium saucepan. Want to put my strawberry. I have everything. I've been a mess here too. Who cares? I have, so for a double recipe, I have 4 cups of strawberries, a tablespoon of butter, which is kind of mysterious to have buttered jam, but hey, why not? So I'm gonna eyeball it because I don't really like to measure butter in a little spoon and then dig it up because it dirties it and it's dirty. So this is about, I think we're almost there, a little bit more, 2 tablespoons. All right, that's done. Then we need 1 cup of sugar. We might get visitors throughout this video, but that's okay. Anyway, so 1 cup of sugar and 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. So we're gonna squeeze this lemon. All right, so I want tablespoon. That gives it a little bit of zest. 1, 2. Next, they're talking about cinnamon. Say half a teaspoon. I'm just gonna eyeball it, so a teaspoon about, and a pinch of salt. Maybe I'm just gonna add half a cup of water. Because even though we're doubling, we don't really want to double the water because we're gonna have to get rid of it. It has to evaporate. But we want enough water so it doesn't stick, especially at the beginning. Especially with my frozen strawberry, we're gonna have more water than fresh strawberry, I think. So that's why I'm only gonna go half with the water, and if I need later, I'll put some more. I'm gonna put that in the stove, bring it to a boil, stirring it occasionally just to make sure it doesn't stick. Meanwhile, while this is starting, I'm gonna prepare my egg wash, which is just an egg that I'm gonna beat. That is gonna, I'm gonna spread that over my puff pastry to help it seal and golden on top also. And I'm also gonna prepare my cornstarch, which is going to be the thickening agent for my jam. Once your jam is boiling, bring down the heat. You just want to keep it to a boil, but you don't want to keep it too high. So at 8 minutes at this point before we add the thickener. So this is cornstarch in the water that I'm just keeping it stirred so that it's liquid, and I'm adding it to my jam that's still boiling. So in total to my jam, I've added I have 4, like a quarter cup of cornstarch with some water. You're gonna be putting that inside of a pastry. You don't want it to be running out. This will have to cool off a bit before I start the next part. So, this is my puff pastry sheet. Comes wrapped. I'm gonna put a little bit of flour here so it doesn't stick. I'm not gonna manipulate it too much. I'm gonna roll it maybe a little bit to get the size that I want. I'm gonna also measure it to find out what size it is and figure out the portions of my turnover. 2 here, 3 by 3. So I'm gonna try to stretch it so that I have 15 and 15. Hopefully it works. Just to guide us, so we have it. So my squares are 5" by 5". So 9 equal squares. So I figured that this size, which is 1/8 of a cup per turnover, I will have enough jam for my 18. Hopefully my calculation will be good. All right, let's try that. So I have my turnover here. So there's a little bit of cut there. Have my egg wash, which is just a beat up egg. I'm just gonna do the edge of my square. I'm gonna take 1/8 of a cup of this sauce. See, it's pretty thick. Don't want to exaggerate. I just want to put it in one corner here. If you have a feeling it might overflow, I think that'll be enough. I'm afraid it's gonna ooze out. So the puff pastry is gonna puff, but that amount inside is not gonna puff. So it's gonna look like just a little bit inside. So I'm using a fork just to close the edges. Put a bit of flour on my spatula. Scoop this up. Please. Here. I'm gonna do the other side so it looks better. I'm brushing with the egg wash, sprinkling it with sugar, just a little bit. Just give it a coating. All right, so we have 2 different ways of doing it. So they're not, they're not gonna be triangles, they're gonna be rectangles. There you go. So I have 4 by 2, and there's 6" here and then 4" here. So I just stretch it a little bit in the lengthwise. So I'm putting egg yolk on the side. Could possibly put a little bit more jam in there because they're a little bit bigger. Instead of 9, I'm doing 8. Let's see how this goes. My fork to the rescue. Just And next time I'm gonna keep this dough in the fridge as long as I can. You just want it to be thawed, and now it's like room temperature. And the gluten in the dough is just stretching, and it's making it harder for me to handle. Live and learn. Almost forgot. We need to poke a little hole in your turnover so that the steam can be let out without breaking the seam. At the oven, 18 minutes. My oven's at 400, and hope for the best. So here are our turnovers. Like you can see, there's been some spillage. So it has come out with a bag. This one is a pastry bag. Take a pastry tip, a round one. You can put it at the end of your cone here. So I have a plastic tip inside of my bag. I put my tip here, and I'm gonna screw it in place. This I'm just trying to save these turnovers from being just big puff balls. And so I'm gonna add some jam and restuff them. Try anyway. So at least you add a little bit more jam. Just keep your pastry, your puff pastry cold until you're ready to work with it. They look good, and hopefully they'll be enjoyed. Have a good day. Ciao.